Imagine this. It is early morning. Your dog hears the leash jingle, and instead of sprinting to the door like always, he pauses, stands up slowly, stiffly, like his back legs are asking him for permission first. Then you hear it, that soft little groan as he finally gets to his feet. I know exactly how heartbreaking that moment is. You watch the dog who used to fly off the porch, now taking the stairs one at a time. You've probably already spent $80 or more on a vet visit, walked out with a bottle of pills, and still watch the limp come back 2 weeks later. And what's worse? Nothing you try from the pet store shelf seems to actually stick. But what if I told you the most effective joint support for your dog isn't sitting in a prescription bottle at all? What if I told you it's sitting in your kitchen, your pantry, or your grocery store right now, and most owners walk right past it without knowing what it can do? Today, I am going to show you exactly 7 foods, backed by real science, that can help rebuild and protect your dog's joints from the inside out. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Marcus, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I dedicate this entire channel to helping you become the best pet parent you can possibly be, using simple, vet-approved home remedies that actually hold up to scrutiny. Before we dive in, drop the guilt. You are not a bad pet parent because your dog is slowing down. Joints wear down with age and genetics, not because of something you did wrong. In fact, the very fact that you're watching this video right now, looking for real answers instead of just accepting the limp, proves how much you care. I actually posted a video on the 5 warning signs of arthritis in dogs, which I'll link at the end, so make sure you circle back to that one too. So today, we are doing a complete masterclass. Grab a notebook, because I am about to give you 7 proven foods that can support your dog's joints, reduce inflammation, and help him move like himself again. Let's get into it. Chapter 1 is my personal favorite, and I promise you 90% of dog owners have never even heard of this one. It's not a supplement pill, it's not fish oil, it's a shellfish most people only associate with fancy dinners. The green-lipped mussel. Here's the problem. As your dog ages, the cartilage cushioning his joints slowly breaks down faster than his body can repair it. That's what turns a simple jump onto the couch into a wince. Now here's what's truly fascinating. Green-lipped mussels, harvested from the coastal waters of New Zealand, contain a unique combination of omega-3 fatty acids you won't find in regular fish oil, along with natural glycosaminoglycans, the exact building blocks your dog's cartilage is made of. Multiple veterinary studies have shown dogs given green-lipped mussel supplements show measurable improvements in mobility and reduced stiffness within weeks. It's not just an omega-3 source. It's one of the only whole foods that supplies raw cartilage building material directly. The remedy. Look for a freeze-dried green-lipped mussel powder made specifically for pets. And follow the dosing on the label based on your dog's weight. This is typically somewhere around half a teaspoon for a medium-sized dog, mixed right into his regular food once a day. Now here's a quick warning. Green-lipped mussel is a shellfish, so if your dog has a known shellfish allergy, skip this one entirely and talk to your vet about alternatives. Always start with a smaller amount for the first few days to watch for any stomach upset. Chapter 2 is one people react to with actual shock when I first tell them, because it involves the part of the egg everyone throws directly in the trash, the eggshell membrane. Let me guess. You're probably thinking that's the thin, papery layer you peel off the inside of an eggshell. You'd be right. But that thin membrane is packed with naturally occurring glucosamine, chondroitin, collagen, and hyaluronic acid, the exact same compounds found in expensive joint supplements, just in their natural whole food form. Stick with me here because this one is important. Instead of your dog's body trying to synthesize these compounds from scratch, or absorbing a synthetic lab-made version, eggshell membrane delivers them in a form remarkably similar to what's already in his joints, which some research suggests may improve absorption. The remedy. You can buy dried powdered eggshell membrane supplements made for dogs online or at pet stores. Follow the labeled dosing based on weight, typically a small scoop mixed into food daily. If you want to try the DIY version, thoroughly dry out cleaned eggshells at a low oven temperature, then grind them into a fine powder. But note that homemade versions won't be as concentrated in membrane content as a proper supplement. Oh, here's a quick warning. Never feed raw eggshells straight from the carton due to salmonella risk. And always bake or boil eggshells first to sanitize them before grinding. Chapter 3 is the one you've probably heard whispers about online, but almost nobody explains correctly: golden turmeric paste. The problem: chronic inflammation is the quiet fire that keeps burning inside an arthritic joint, and it's what turns a mild ache into constant pain. Here's the science, and stick with me because it's simple. Turmeric contains a compound called curcumin, which has been studied for its ability to block specific inflammatory pathways in the body. Similar in some ways to how certain anti-inflammatory medications work, but from a plant source. The catch is that curcumin on its own is poorly absorbed by the body. That's where black pepper comes in. A compound in black pepper called piperine can significantly boost curcumin absorption. The remedy: make a simple golden paste by simmering a quarter cup of turmeric powder with about half a cup of water on low heat for 7 to 10 minutes until it thickens. Then stir in a pinch of black pepper and a tablespoon of coconut oil. Let it cool, store it in the fridge for up to 2 weeks, and mix roughly a quarter teaspoon per 10 pounds of body weight into your dog's food daily. Now, here's a quick warning. Turmeric can thin the blood slightly, so if your dog is on blood thinners or scheduled for surgery, talk to your vet before starting this. Too much can also cause loose stool, so always start small. Chapter 4 is one you've almost certainly heard of, but I promise you're not using it the way that actually helps joints: bone broth. But what if I told you most people make bone broth completely wrong for joint support? The problem is simmering bones for just an hour or two barely extracts anything useful. Here's what's truly fascinating. When bones, especially joints and knuckle bones, are simmered low and slow for 18 to 24 hours, the collagen inside slowly breaks down into gelatin, along with natural glucosamine and chondroitin. That long, slow extraction is what actually pulls the joint-supporting compounds out of the bone and into the liquid your dog will drink. The remedy: simmer beef or chicken joint bones in a slow cooker on low for 18 to 24 hours with just enough water to cover them, and a splash of apple cider vinegar to help pull out minerals. Strain it, let it cool completely so the fat can be skimmed off the top. And serve about a quarter cup for small dogs, or up to a full cup for large dogs, poured over their regular meal 2 to 3 times a week. Now, here's a quick warning. Never use onion or garlic in the broth. Both are toxic to dogs. Also, skim excess fat before serving, since fatty broth can trigger pancreatitis in sensitive dogs, and always let it cool to room temperature first. Chapter 5 brings us to something sweet, colorful, and sitting in your fridge right now: blueberries. The problem: inflammation in an arthritic joint creates something called oxidative stress. Tiny amounts of cellular damage that build up over time and make the joint even more sensitive to pain. Here's the science. Blueberries are one of the highest natural sources of antioxidants, specifically compounds called anthocyanins, which research has linked to reduced inflammatory markers in the body. Think of them as tiny scavengers, cleaning up the cellular damage before it makes the pain worse. The remedy: feed fresh or frozen blueberries as a simple daily snack. Roughly 5 to 10 berries for a medium-sized dog is a safe, effective amount. You can also freeze them for a soothing cold treat on hot days. Here's a quick warning. Introduce blueberries gradually, since too many at once can cause digestive upset. And always supervise your dog while eating whole berries to prevent choking, especially in small dogs. Chapter 6 is a small seed with a big job: pumpkin seeds. The problem: extra weight is one of the single biggest stressors on an arthritic joint. Even 5 extra pounds can dramatically increase the pressure on your dog's hips and knees. Here's what's truly fascinating. Pumpkin seeds are naturally rich in zinc and healthy omega-3 fats, which support both joint tissue health and a healthy metabolism, helping your dog maintain a lean body weight without sacrificing nutrition. Less weight pressing down on the joint means less pain with every single step. The remedy: give plain, unsalted roasted pumpkin seeds, ground into a coarse powder so they're easier to digest. Add roughly half a teaspoon per 20 pounds of body weight, sprinkled over food a few times a week. Now, here's a quick warning. Always use plain pumpkin seeds with no added salt, seasoning, or oil, since seasoned seeds sold for human snacking can upset your dog's stomach or contain harmful ingredients like garlic powder. Chapter 7 is the one I consider the true foundation, and the one everything else builds on top of. Wild-caught fish, and specifically the fish oil within it. You've probably heard of fish oil before. But here's what most people don't realize. It's not just healthy fat. Fish like salmon and sardines are rich in two very specific omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA, which have been shown in veterinary research to directly reduce inflammatory compounds inside the joint fluid itself. Not just generally support skin and coat like most owners assume. The remedy: feed cooked, boneless salmon or sardines packed in water, about 1 to 2 times a week, or use a high-quality fish oil supplement dosed according to your dog's weight and your vet's recommendation. Now, here's a quick warning. Never feed raw salmon, which can carry a parasite that's dangerous for dogs, and always remove all bones before serving. If using a supplement, too much fish oil can cause loose stool or interfere with blood clotting, so stick to the recommended dose. Now, please listen closely, because this is a massive veterinary warning. None of these 7 foods are a substitute for veterinary diagnosis or treatment. Arthritis, hip dysplasia, and other joint conditions need to be properly assessed by your vet, especially if your dog is showing sudden lameness, crying out in pain, or refusing to bear weight on a leg at all. Home nutrition support works best alongside, not instead of, proper veterinary care. If stiffness, limping, or reluctance to move persists beyond 7 days or worsens at any point, please see your vet immediately. Here is the golden rule. You do not need to use all 7 of these at once. Build a simple rotation instead. Daily, mix in either the eggshell membrane powder or the golden turmeric paste with breakfast. 2 to 3 times a week, add bone broth or a small handful of blueberries as a topper. As needed during flare-ups or after a particularly active day, bring in the green-lipped mussel powder for extra support. The whole process should take you no more than 5 minutes a day. Watching your dog slow down is one of the hardest parts of being a pet parent, but by choosing to educate yourself, by choosing to take just a few minutes out of your day to add real, science-backed nutrition to his bowl, you are proving how much you truly love him. And that makes you an incredible pet parent. If this video gave you hope today, please hit that like button. It helps more pet parents find this information when they need it most. Subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss our weekly deep dives. Please leave a comment telling me, what's the first sign you noticed that made you realize your dog's joints were starting to bother him? I read every single one. Give your sweet, beautiful dog a gentle scratch behind the ears for Dr. Marcus tonight. I'll see you in the next one.